Viral headlines are claiming that LisaRaye McCoy just dropped an explosive revelation, exposing the real reason why her sister Brat supposedly dumped and divorced Jessica Judy Depart. The narrative burning up every timeline is that the multi-million-dollar fairy tale just completely collapsed behind closed doors, and that LisaRaye is finally pulling back the curtain on what really went down inside that house. LisaRaye and Brat share a documented 30-year history of intense public clashes over personal boundaries and communication gaps. But watching her sister merge her life with a powerhouse businesswoman whose influence extended across their home, business empire, and public image raised immediate red flags from day one. The stakes surrounding this household couldn't be higher. A high-profile 2022 wedding in Georgia, a multi-season reality series, and a miracle baby boy born through a reciprocal IVF journey where Judy provided the biological egg and Brat carried the pregnancy at 49 years old. The circulating claims paint a dramatic picture of bitter custody battles, secret exits, and family betrayal. But when you pull back the noise and look at the actual public record, no public divorce petition has been identified. No custody docket is registered, and neither party has confirmed a legal split. So what actually happened behind the closed doors of this multi-million-dollar union? Why did LisaRaye's past warnings suddenly resurface to ignite this entire controversy? And how did a genuine family boundary clash turn into the internet's biggest divorce headline? Let's break down the verified facts from the very beginning. To understand how this entire foundation cracked, you have to rewind to the very second Jessica Judy Depart walked into Brat's world. For over 2 decades, Shantae Harris was an untouchable, platinum-selling hip-hop icon who guarded her personal identity like Fort Knox. Following a highly publicized 2018 Chapter 11 bankruptcy filing tied to a multi-million-dollar civil judgment, Brat had spent years restructuring her personal and financial life in strict privacy. Then came Judy, a fiercely ambitious, self-made multi-millionaire running Kaleidoscope hair products, who operates on a completely different set of rules. For Judy, visibility isn't just a lifestyle, visibility is currency. The shift was immediate, calculated, and impossible to ignore. Brat went from private industry veteran to the centerpiece of a full-blown commercial machine. Suddenly, every intimate milestone, every private argument, and every personal vulnerability was broadcast across nationwide television screens on the WeTV docuseries Brat Loves Judy, which premiered in August 2021. What was sold to the public as a groundbreaking love story quickly revealed an intense, underlying power imbalance that sent shockwaves straight through Brat's family circle. LisaRaye McCoy saw the writing on the wall before the cameras even finished setting up their lights. LisaRaye knew firsthand the brutal reality of high-profile divorces, having navigated her own public split from former Turks and Caicos premier Michael Missick. Watching her younger sister hand over the reins of her public image to a fast-moving businesswoman raised immediate red flags. The tension didn't start with a quiet disagreement. It exploded in September 2020 on Fox Soul's Cocktails with Queens, when LisaRaye learned live on air that Brat had gone public with Judy without giving her own sister a direct heads-up. That was the exact moment the family realized an impenetrable boundary had been built around Brat. Look at the financial reality that was quietly taking shape behind the scenes. Judy wasn't just a partner. She was an established corporate entity holding vast commercial infrastructure. While Brat brought legendary cultural prestige and massive celebrity equity to the table, the actual material assets, from their multi-acre Georgia estate to corporate retail partnerships, were deeply integrated into Judy's established corporate footprint. During the second season of their reality show, the couple openly discussed the intense legal negotiations surrounding their prenuptial agreement, exposing the friction of protecting independent wealth while merging brand identities. That dynamic created a high-pressure environment where corporate stakes governed domestic life. Brat was suddenly living inside Judy's corporate machine, surrounded by production schedules, commercial brand obligations, and business liabilities that made any personal disagreement a potential threat to their joint enterprise. Then came the wedding of the century on February 22, 2022, a date deliberately chosen for its February 22, 22 numerical symmetry, featuring a massive 100-guest production at the Horse Mansion in Atlanta. But behind the custom purple gowns and the high-profile media rollout, the contractual reality had set in. Maintaining the public profile of a barrier-breaking celebrity marriage meant that internal friction had to be kept strictly away from network cameras, because any public admission of instability threatened executive producer credits, retail contracts, and major brand endorsements. The next phase of their union shifted the pressure from corporate boardrooms into specialized medical clinics. When the couple committed to reciprocal in vitro fertilization, they entered a process that demanded absolute physical sacrifice. Brat underwent major health complications, including surgery to remove 18 fibroids and a prior ectopic pregnancy, before carrying the pregnancy to full term. Meanwhile, Judy underwent hormone treatments to supply the biological egg, utilizing a vetted sperm donor to complete the medical protocol. Under Georgia domestic relations law, both spouses in a legally recognized marriage who execute a lawful assisted reproduction agreement are established as equal legal parents upon birth. However, the emotional reality of sharing a child through reciprocal IVF brought an unprecedented layer of complexity inside the home. Brat had endured severe medical procedures and the physical burden of late-in-life labor, while the child shared Judy's direct genetic lineage. This created an underlying domestic friction regarding primary caretaking responsibilities versus the demands of managing a nationwide beauty supply chain. The isolation within that high-security compound deepened, leading Brat to re-establish private communication channels with LisaRaye. When LisaRaye learned about the exhaustion and domestic strain her sister was experiencing while trying to balance new motherhood with non-stop filming commitments, family tensions erupted into open conflict. LisaRaye had maintained that Judy's rapid commercialization of Brat's personal identity was alienating lifelong family members, and seeing the physical and mental toll on her sister reinforced every objection she had raised since 2020. LisaRaye's position within the extended family remained unyielding. Having spent 3 decades in the entertainment industry, LisaRaye openly argued that corporate visibility should never take precedence over family wellness. She viewed the heavy media coverage of their domestic life as a coordinated strategy to maintain market dominance for Judy's beauty brand, arguing that Brat's legacy was being leveraged to authenticate a commercial enterprise. Judy aggressively pushed back against that narrative. Operating as the primary executive managing corporate operations and maintaining the household's multi-million-dollar overhead, Judy maintained that her business acumen provided the long-term financial security and platform stability that Brat had lacked in previous decades. Judy refused to allow external family commentary to dictate the operations of her household, creating an irreconcilable divide between her management camp and LisaRaye's circle. The domestic environment fractured into distinct silos: corporate production commitments on one side and deep family alienation on the other. Brat found herself navigating a high-stakes balance between her legal marriage to an influential business mogul and her lifelong loyalty to the sister who had been her primary industry advocate since 1994. The sudden escalation forced every single player into the open, and the consequences of this high-profile fallout hit with devastating precision. What began as internal family friction suddenly threatened to destabilize 2 distinct legacies: Brat's 30-year hip-hop status as the first solo female rap artist to achieve platinum certification, and Judy's multi-million-dollar retail footprint in major chains across the United States. When the narrative of an alleged bitter split, secret filings, and maternal power plays exploded across media outlets, the public perception shifted overnight. Viewers who had followed their journey from their 2022 nuptials to the birth of their son began critically examining every joint appearance and social media update for signs of legal separation. Behind the scenes, the commercial impact of this public tension sent immediate shockwaves through their operational partnerships. In modern corporate entertainment, joint ventures rely heavily on unified brand integrity. For Judy, whose haircare company relies on direct-to-consumer authenticity and retail shelf presence, facing widespread speculation about domestic collapse posed a measurable risk to enterprise valuation. For Brat, whose career renaissance was anchored in the transparency of their docuseries, navigating unverified narratives threatened the commercial credibility of future production cycles. Despite sweeping claims of sudden filings and bitter custody disputes, official Georgia Superior Court dockets across Fulton, Gwinnett, and surrounding county registries confirm 0 petitions for legal separation, 0 divorce dockets, and no custody litigation registered under Shantae Harris or Jessica DePart. LisaRaye McCoy has never issued a formal press release or verified statement confirming she initiated or authenticated any legal divorce proceedings on behalf of her sister. Through every wave of digital discourse, Brat and Judy have continuously operated their shared business entities, retained joint physical residence in their Georgia home, and fulfilled their mutual parental responsibilities for their son without any court-ordered intervention. The stark divide between circulating public assumptions and documented administrative records exposes the core dynamic of this entire situation. The friction between LisaRaye and Judy was rooted in documented family boundary disputes, televised communication gaps, and competing protective instincts. Yet, those personal dynamics were systematically amplified into a false narrative of a finalized legal divorce. LisaRaye's protective stance toward her sibling collided with a media landscape that routinely converts private family strain into fabricated legal drama. The personal strain within the family was genuine, but the claim of a formal legal dissolution remains entirely contradicted by the official public record. The peak of this situation wasn't a judicial ruling inside a family court. It was the stark confrontation between verified legal documentation and the intense public scrutiny surrounding a high-profile celebrity household. At the end of the day, the legal papers are not stamped in any court, but the deep emotional scars across this family are undeniable. Brat spent decades fighting for personal autonomy, career longevity, and motherhood on her own terms, only to find herself navigating the complex intersection between the sister who witnessed her entire rise to fame and the wife who built the modern empire they share today. The biggest question still hanging over this entire story remains critical. Can a high-profile marriage operating under continuous television production and massive corporate contracts fully heal when core family relationships remain fractured off-camera? Or will the ongoing boundary disputes eventually force a fundamental shift in how this empire operates? Now I want to hear from you down in the comments. Is LisaRaye simply executing the protective role of an older sister who identifies underlying issues? Or did the public nature of these family disputes create unnecessary strain on a legally solid marriage? Drop your perspective below. Let's break down the facts. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on post notifications, and stay tuned, because when high-profile legacies, corporate equity, and family dynamics collide, the next documented development will tell the entire story.